Guys, how exciting. You've literally created a brand, you've created an offer, and now you're ready to hit the market. So it's up to you now to decide who you want your future clients to be. Okay, so after 8 years of selling and acquiring clients in all sorts of different industries, I've built some really amazing relationships, and I can make some recommendations for the sectors or the industries that I would recommend as being viable and really good for maintaining long-term relationships, whilst also making a really juicy amount of profit. So you want to remember that retention is key. Okay, so you don't want to be selling to somebody who's going to give you headaches and end up being a real nuisance. You want people who are going to pay you on time, they're going to be reliable clients, and they're going to be ideally long-term clients for you for the next years to come. Keep in mind, it's going to be hard for you guys to get these clients on board. It might take you a couple of weeks to land one, but if you do land one, you want that person paying you for the next couple of years. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to be providing these guys with value. Okay, we're going to make sure that they're getting a lot of money from the services that we're offering them. That's basically how we're going to deliver this. We're going to be delivering customers to people who need more customers, and we're going to be doing that for people that rely on churn. Okay, so as we talked about earlier, churn is going to be the most valuable aspect of this. So what sort of industries rely on churn? Well, there's so many, guys. There's scaffolding, all of the trades, plumbing, sparkies, all of these things. What I recommend is these three, okay? Dentists, glaziers, and security companies. If you can get any three of these guys on board, this also includes electricians. If you can get electricians on board and security companies, you're going to be doing great. Same with glaziers. There's glass everywhere. These guys have heaps of work. It's not going to be hard for you to generate work for glaziers. People searching for glaziers every day. Same with dentists. Everyone has teeth. Okay, so how often do you go to the dentist? I go to mine like once every year, maybe 2 times a year. That means that, for that guy, he's got to fill that chair up every day with people that only come to see him once a year. He's perfect, okay? But what we really want to do is we want to focus on industries that have a high retention rate and who can afford your service. Because if you're dealing with people that are broke or don't have enough money, they're not going to pay you on time, they're going to be questioning your invoices, all of that, headaches. You don't need that, okay? So recognize that time is the most valuable asset in the entire universe, okay? Your time is priceless. So stop being a cop-out and selling your time for $30 an hour, because if you do that, you're going to be, limited in terms of how much you can make. You need to start taking some risk, okay? And right now, if you don't have a lot of money to risk, you want to risk your time. So spend your time on acquiring new clients. And realistically, we've made this financial barrier to this entry for this course really low, so you can afford to do this. It's not like you can't afford to spend a bit of time. You guys have probably got enough time where you can invest an hour or 2 a day into this. Even if it's coming home from work and you're sitting in traffic, you can make cold calls while you're sitting there. Like, nobody cares how you do it or when you do it, but realistically, start using this to provide value to people. That's what we're doing, okay? If you spend 5, even 10 days making calls, you'll eventually land a client, okay, who's happy to pay you a generous commission for years to come. And as I mentioned, I've got, some big clients, guys. I've got one client who pays me $15,000 every single month. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying that, there are people out there that have budgets that they need to invest in their own businesses, and that's what we're doing here. We're working with businesses, okay? We're not working directly with people. We're dealing with businesses. If you work with a really small business, for example, like a ma and pa business, they're going to treat their money like it's their money, okay? If they're spending $2,000, they're going to feel that like it's their $2,000. If you're dealing with, say, a dental practice with 3 dentists and they've got like an office lady and they've got, insurances and overheads and all that stuff, those guys have money that they need to invest in their business to keep it afloat. Okay, so you want to be working with people that have a budget. All right, now everybody is going to, recognize pretty soon that the people with no money are the easiest to get on board. You can go and get a few people on board that don't have a lot of money if you want to get started, practice your pitch. That's fine. But you're going to find that those people that aren't paying you a lot of money are going to give you the most headaches. These guys here that pay me $15K a month, they don't give me any headaches. I don't even hear from them. I can barely even get a meeting with them because they're that preoccupied with everything else that they're doing. And that's really what you want. You want to create a system that allows you to earn a lot of money for a little amount of work. And that comes back to the MVO concept, all right? So remember, while you're doing this, that one phone call can change your entire life. You could make one phone call and that person could end up paying you for 10 years. I mean, do the math. This guy here, he's literally been on board with me for 10 years. He pays me like $15K a month. It started out at like $1,400 a month. But if you do the math on that, the guy's, probably sent me well over $500,000 or $600,000, and that's from one phone call that I made that generated that opportunity. So let's just focus in on, keeping focus on the high quality, get rid of the low quals, recognize the law of averages, and recognize that if you're going to sell time for money, the only thing that you're risking is, the potential to make more money. This is your cap. You're capped out if you're doing this. So, what have you guys got to lose? Like $30? Well, hey, that's fine, but it's not the end of the world if you lose $30 at the risk of making 30,000. So let's get straight into it, guys. We're just about to start the pitch. This pitch and your hypothesis are what's going to give you the tools that you need to actually close deals. But essentially, these are just mindset things that we're working through here. Pick one of these industries, stick with it, okay? We're not going to change it. We're going to stick with this industry for at least 1,000 calls. If you can't make something happen within 1,000 calls, you're probably not going to be able to make anything happen across any industry. I know for a fact that these three will deliver lots of results. You're going to generate lots of money with these guys. But hoping that this makes sense. Pick an industry, pick a niche. If you go with one of these, we're going to provide you with a website. If you go with another industry or another niche that is outside of these, we will not provide you with a website. So understand that your clients are going to need a good website. If they don't have a good website, your results are not going to be good because we're steering traffic to the website. Okay, but anyway, let's move straight into it. We're going to talk about your hypothesis next, and then we're going to start talking about your pitch, which is super exciting. So let's go.